Imagine soaring through the night sky over the vast Atlantic Ocean in one of the most advanced aircraft of its time, with experienced pilots at the helm. Yet, what unfolds is a tragic descent into the unknown, a story that shook the world and left aviation experts baffled. This is the untold story of Air France Flight 447. Hey there, history lovers. This is James, and welcome to the Flair Chronicles channel. Today, we're diving into a pivotal moment in the history of France, the story of French Flight 447. Trust me, some of these will have you questioning reality itself. This might be new to you, as it's the first time you'll hear about these facts. On May 31, 2009, Air France Flight 447 departed Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, en route to Paris, France. The Airbus A330-200, tail number FGZCP, was scheduled for a routine transatlantic journey across the Atlantic, expected to take approximately 12 hours. On board were 216 passengers from over 30 nationalities, each with their own destination in Europe or connecting flights beyond Paris. The Airbus A330-200 was a cornerstone of Air France's long-haul fleet, known for its efficiency and passenger comfort. This particular aircraft had recently undergone maintenance and was equipped with cutting-edge avionics and safety systems, designed to meet the stringent standards of modern aviation. The crew of Flight 447 comprised three experienced pilots: Captain Marc Dubois, a veteran aviator with over 11,000 flight hours, known for his leadership and calm demeanor under pressure; First Officer David Robert, with 4,500 hours of experience on the Airbus A330, recognized for his technical proficiency and reliability; and Second Officer Pierre-Cedric Bonin, a competent pilot with nearly 3,000 hours, skilled in managing flight systems and assisting the captain and first officer. As Flight 447 began its journey from Rio de Janeiro, the pilots anticipated a routine flight over the Atlantic Ocean towards Europe. The planned route took them through the Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCC, an area near the equator known for its complex and often turbulent weather patterns. Flight 447 proceeded smoothly during the initial hours of the flight under the experienced command of Captain Marc Dubois. The crew monitored weather reports and radar images, anticipating and preparing for possible deviations to avoid adverse weather conditions. Approaching the equator, Captain Dubois and his crew identified a band of thunderstorms ahead, a common occurrence within the ITCZ. These weather systems posed a considerable risk due to their intensity and rapid development, prompting the crew to discuss strategies to navigate safely through or around them. Such decision-making processes are standard in long-haul aviation, where pilots continuously assess and adapt to ensure the safety and comfort of their passengers. At approximately 1:35 a.m., over 3 hours into the flight, Air France 447 encountered a cluster of tropical showers within the ITCC. It was here that disaster struck, triggered by a relatively common yet critical issue in aviation: the formation of ice crystals that obstructed the pitot tubes. Pitot tubes are essential instruments that measure airspeed by detecting the pressure of the airflow. On Flight 447, the accumulation of ice crystals within the pitot tubes led to a sudden and erroneous drop in airspeed indications. This malfunction disrupted the aircraft's automated systems, causing the autopilot to disengage and the flight control computers to switch to alternate flight laws, where certain protections and automation features are reduced. With unreliable airspeed data and reduced automation, the cockpit of Flight 447 quickly became a scene of escalating confusion and urgency. The loss of accurate speed information meant that the flight crew had to rely on manual control inputs to maintain the aircraft's stability and trajectory. However, the situation rapidly deteriorated as the aircraft began to experience severe pitch and roll oscillations, exacerbated by the crew's struggle to interpret and respond to multiple alarms and warnings. The stall warning system, designed to alert pilots of an impending aerodynamic stall, loss of lift, activated intermittently as the aircraft's speed fluctuated dangerously. In the midst of the crisis, First Officer Pierre-Cedric Bonin assumed control of the aircraft. attempting to stabilize its flight path. However, his inputs, driven by a mix of urgency and incomplete information, inadvertently exacerbated the aircraft's instability, a stark illustration of the challenges posed by human-machine interaction under extreme stress and sensory deprivation. Despite the concerted efforts of the flight crew to regain control and stabilize Flight 447, the aircraft entered a rapid descent from its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. The combination of erratic flight dynamics and the crew's attempts to recover from the stall condition led to a worsening situation. The Airbus A330's descent rate increased sharply, and its flight path became increasingly erratic, oscillating between steep climbs and dives as the crew struggled to manage the crisis. Air traffic control centers in Brazil and the Cape Verde Islands lost radio contact with Flight 447, prompting an immediate response and mobilization of search and rescue assets. Over the following days, international teams of aircraft and vessels conducted extensive searches across the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, focusing on areas where debris and potential survivors might be found. Tragically, the recovery efforts confirmed the worst fears. Flight 447 had crashed into the remote depths of the Atlantic Ocean, leaving no survivors among the 228 passengers and crew on board. In the aftermath of the tragedy, a meticulous investigation led by France's Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis for Civil Aviation Safety, BEA, was launched to determine the root causes of the crash. Central to the investigation were the retrieval and analysis of Flight 447's flight data recorder, FDR, and cockpit voice recorder, CVR, commonly referred to as the black boxes, which provided critical insights into the sequence of events leading up to the disaster. The BIA's investigation identified multiple contributing factors that culminated in the loss of Flight 447. Foremost among these was the malfunction of the pitot tubes due to ice crystal formation, an issue exacerbated by the environmental conditions within the ITCCZ. The obstruction of the pitot tubes led to unreliable airspeed indications, causing the autopilot to disconnect and the aircraft to transition to alternate flight law. In response to the unreliable airspeed data, the flight crew faced significant challenges in maintaining control and stability. The loss of automated protections and the onset of severe aerodynamic stall conditions further complicated their efforts to stabilize the aircraft's flight path. Despite their training and experience, the crew's response to the unfolding crisis was hampered by the absence of reliable speed indications and the rapid onset of high-altitude stall conditions. As a result of the investigation, the BEA issued a series of safety recommendations to enhance aviation safety standards and mitigate the risk of similar incidents in the future. These recommendations encompassed improvements in pilot training programs, including using advanced flight simulators to simulate and practice high-altitude stall scenarios. Additionally, aircraft manufacturers were urged to develop enhanced pitot tube designs and anti-icing systems capable of mitigating the effects of environmental factors on critical flight instruments. The loss of Air France. Flight 447 served as a profound wake-up call for the global aviation industry, prompting a comprehensive reassessment of safety protocols and operational practices. The tragedy underscored the critical importance of crew training, system redundancy, and resilience to environmental hazards in ensuring the safety of commercial air travel. In response to the disaster, significant strides were made in enhancing aviation safety standards. Airlines worldwide intensified their focus on pilot training and proficiency, with an emphasis on the recognition and recovery from high-altitude stall conditions, a critical area highlighted by the Flight 447 investigation. Advanced flight simulation technologies played a pivotal role in these efforts, enabling pilots to practice and refine their skills in a controlled environment that replicates real-world scenarios. Flight training programs were revised to include comprehensive instruction on the recognition and mitigation of pitot tube icing and other environmental hazards, ensuring that pilots are equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to respond effectively to in-flight emergencies. Aircraft manufacturers also responded to the lessons learned from Flight 447 by implementing design enhancements and technological advancements aimed at improving the resilience of critical flight instruments to environmental factors. These efforts included the development of advanced pitot tube designs and anti-icing systems capable of preventing or mitigating the effects of ice crystal accumulation, a crucial step towards enhancing the safety and reliability of modern commercial aircraft. As we reflect on the tragedy of Air France Flight 447, we honor the memory of the 228 passengers and crew who lost their lives by reaffirming our commitment to aviation safety. Their legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the inherent risks associated with air travel and the imperative of continuous improvement in safety standards and operational practices. The lessons learned from Flight 447 have shaped and strengthened the global aviation industry's approach to safety, driving innovation, and fostering collaboration among airlines, regulators, and aircraft manufacturers. Through enhanced training, advanced technology, and rigorous oversight, may the memory of Air France Flight 447 inspire us to pursue excellence in aviation safety, honoring the lives lost by striving for safer skies and a future where tragedies of this magnitude are prevented. Thank you for joining us on Flare Chronicles. If you found this narrative informative, please like, comment, and subscribe for more compelling stories on aviation history and safety. Together, let's continue to explore the skies with vigilance and resilience. Until next time, fly safe.